Well, g'day everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to part 3 of our Gibb River Road adventure. On this week's episode, we leave Ellenbrae behind and we head off to what I reckon is the best free camp on the Gibb River Road. We spend a couple of days relaxing and swimming before moving on to Drysdale Station, where we top off with fuel, water, a couple of beers and a really tasty hamburger, and then we move on to the King Edward camp where we set up our base to explore not only Mitchell Falls but Columbaroo. So once you go and get yourself a cold drink and get your feet up for the next 20 minutes or so, come and join us for the adventure. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures? Good morning everybody. We're just getting ready to go. We're going to leave Ellenbrae this morning. As I said yesterday, we only stayed the night. I'm going to go outside in a minute. We've probably only done about 100 k's of Corrugations, but when we do these types of roads, I always like to get up in the morning, go out, just check the tyre pressures while they're still cold. That way I seem to get a bit of a more even balance rather than the sun's been shining on some tyres for a while and I'm getting uneven tyre pressures. And I'll just run the torque wrench over the wheel nuts on the car and the caravan just to make sure that everybody's still okay. Pop the bonnet, have a look around for any obvious signs of faults. Then we're going to hitch up and get ready to roll. From here today, we're going to go out to the Gibb River. We're going to set up camp down there. There's a couple of free camps around on the turn off to Columbaroo. So we'll probably spend maybe the next 2 or 3 days down there depending on the spot and how good the swimming is. But we're looking forward to it. Anyway, I'll get out and I'll get all those jobs that I've got done. I'm going to come back into the van and Ali's going to pack the van up for when we drive on Corrugations. We'll have a bit of a talk about the sorts of things that she does to keep everything secure while we're bouncing down the road. So just pop back in the van. I said a little bit earlier that Ali was going to show us how she packs the van up to handle the Corrugations every day, and I've caught her right in the middle of it, so let's see what she does.
Yeah, so when we pack up the caravan when we're travelling, whether we're on the corros or just normally, we always put anything loose away, whether it's onto the bed or into a sink, just to protect it so it doesn't bounce through the caravan and we don't come into any disasters. So at the moment in our bathroom area, I've got the dry mat in here and I've just popped like a soap holder and a toothbrush holder, and anything that's a little bit loose at the moment we just pop it into the sink. We also take the toilet roll off the toilet roll holder and pop it into the cabinet because we have come in before and had the toilet roll through the
yes,
the caravan.
We've definitely had that, yes.
That's not fun to have, to be honest. In terms of the shower, we do currently have the Navigator bag, which does the shower head but also does our plugs for our caravan into the car and protects it. We just pop the shower head into the bag and it stops it from falling off the shower recess and damaging the shower, which is a good thing.
Yes.
In terms of the door, don't forget to secure your doors. So we've got an elastic band and we've also got the stopper here, so I put both in, which is good. Make sure all your drawers and your fridges are shut, because sometimes you think you've actually shut them, but really make sure they are shut. For the fridge, we use a combination of containers and we also use the egg box.
Yeah, it's the best thing to carry your eggs in, those egg cartons. Those bloody plastic things you buy at BCF, and they're rubbish, they just break your eggs.
They do, they didn't work for us. So just make sure your fridge is packed
tightly.
Tightly, yeah. I was going to say nice and compact,
yeah,
so nothing's moving around.
Yeah, I'll cut a picture, and the other thing we do is we put an elastic band around like the yogurts and things so that the lids don't fly off them when we're driving.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's it. The microwave dish sits in our pocket.
Yes.
All the windows, the shades are down. Make sure the windows are shut, locked, and the little knobs are tightened as well. Nothing's moved from here, so everything's been pretty good here as well as we've travelled, so that's been a good thing.
Yeah, they've never ever come down either those shelves. They've been great fast locks or something like that. I can't remember now. We bought them at Bunnings a couple of years ago, but nothing falls out of it either, which has been great.
No, it's been good. So far, touch wood, so far so good.
Yes. And the business end of the van, Bo? Wait till I get around the other side. Here we go.
I think, again, I like the odds and sods. So the TV goes onto the bed. our fruit bowl, which doesn't have too much fruit in it at the moment, sits on the bed. I did a little bit of vacuuming this morning and I was a little lazy to put it back under the bed, so it'll just sit there on the bed. And I took all the magnets off the fridge because we did go down some corros earlier in our caravanning life, and they all slid down the fridge and they scratched a bit. And I think because we're back onto the corros and the dirt roads, it was a good idea just to take them off so nothing's sliding around on the fridge. Other than that, the fans, we make sure the fans are in this position and not in this position, because I'm told it's not good for it.
Yeah, they always just have them hanging down and locked off.
I think that's Sirocco's recommendation. So
for
other
sure.
than that, yeah, it's just really common sense. Anything that's loose, just put away, whether it's on the bed or in a sink. Just protect it so it's not through the caravan or scratching something.
Exactly. And just one more thing that we do, we just have a lot of our stuff in containers. I'll just open up this cupboard here. So you can see here we've got all of our stuff in containers, and that saves those surprises of all the gear falling out on your head when you open the door. The only thing that's really here for us, and we know it's here, so we're always cautious when we open, it's just the wraps that we use. That's about it, isn't it?
Yes, that's so far so good. And I think you just adjust if you think you're going on something a bit harder or rougher, you might just a bit more protection. It's better to be overcautious, a bit more than a bit less, because who wants to come in and find a disaster to clean up?
Exactly. I just popped around this side of the camera now, it's going to be a little bit easier. The last thing that we do is we just go around and we check each other's work. So I'll come around and I'll push all the cupboards and check the fridge and all of the things that Ali does inside here. And then she goes out and she just walks around the caravan to make sure I've locked all the hatches and all those sorts of things, don't you?
Yes, yeah, we double check like the doors on the shower area, just make sure they're actually pinned back and not, we think they're pinned back,
yeah,
which is always a good thing. And then the last thing I do before we leave, I pick up the coffees and pop them in the car. So often we're driving, we have a coffee.
All right, well let's get out to the Gibb River and we'll see how well she's packed the van today.
One of the things that Ali and I do a lot of the time when we're out, particularly on roads like the Gibb River Road, is we pull up probably about every half an hour or so. You don't have to, but we do. We just think it's good. It gives you a little bit of a break from the drive and the corrugation, all the shakes and bumps and rolls and things like that. And we always have a look inside the van, just walk around the car, just make sure everything looks good. We don't have a tyre monitoring system on our caravan, so I do like to check those quite regularly. We do have one in the car, and when I'm driving on these sorts of roads, I actually leave it on the tyre monitoring system so I can just see what the tyres are doing as we're driving around, because there's so many sharp and shaly rocks as we travel along the Gibb. It's worth your while to get on top of things really, really quickly. But at the moment, on our drive from Ellenbrae out to Gibb River, the road hasn't been too bad, to be very honest with you. We've driven a lot worse than this, but there is a lot of shaly rock along the way. So we've come to the turn off for Columbaroo and Derby, coming off the Gibb River Road from the Pentecost. We're going to head towards Columbaroo. We're going to go and find a campsite up here on the Gibb this afternoon, probably spend a few days here before we move on to Drysdale, and then we're going to go on to the next camp, and then we'll take the vans up that far and then move on from there. But here's the turn off. So at the intersection you will find there's a rest stop here, so there's access to some drop dunnies and those sorts of things when you come in. Big area to park your van, there's some picnic tables and some information for the directions that you're travelling along the Gibb. So yeah, quite a nice place to come and stay. In Western Australia at the moment, they've had a problem with cane toads that have been crossing the border. We're not talking about the Queenslanders, we're talking about the actual cane toads. And there's a lot of stuff in. I'll just cut in a picture of the sign that talks about what to do if you encounter a cane toad. But essentially, knock it on the head, kill it, put it in a bag and throw it into a garbage bin just to start eradicating little mongrels. Well, good morning everybody. As we said yesterday, we drove up from Ellenbrae and we've come up to the free camp on the Gibb River. I've got to say, this is beautiful here. I'm going to give you a look around in a second, but I've got a couple of plans while we're here. We're probably going to spend maybe 2 to 3 days here. I've got a few YouTube vids I need to knock out. Alison's got a little bit of work she needs to catch up on too. We'll do some maintenance on the caravan before we continue a little bit further towards the north and Drysdale Station, which, as I said, we'll probably do in the next 2 to 3 days time. I'm going to get up today. I'm going to clean the solar panels. It's absolutely essential when you're out in these dusty roads if you want to try and maximise your input of your solar throughout the course of the day, particularly when you're living off-grid like we do for long periods of time. We don't own a generator. We're totally reliant upon the sun and what we can produce out of our DC to DC charger. We're moving from point A to point B. Also get around, just do all those checks I was telling you about yesterday or the day before around the car, so we'll check all the air pressures again, we'll do all the torque nuts, have a look underneath the bonnet, just make sure that everything looks good, and then just kick back, relax, swim, fire, a couple of beers. It's going to be a great little stay. So it's been a little while since I cleaned the panels. Well, when I say a little while, it's probably been a little bit over a week. We've been on some very dusty roads and some very dusty campsites of late. I just went down, grabbed a bucket of water out of the river this morning. All I do is just throw a little bit of water over the tops of the panels, try and conserve it as best we can, and then just give them a good rinse off, give them a wash, and then dry them off, and hopefully that maximises our solar input for the day. They always seem to get covered with, just dirt and stuff, and of course a lot of bird droppings and things like that, and all of these things will affect the performance of your panel. So the cleaner you can keep them, particularly in areas like this, is it really pays some rewards in the end, just to make sure that you can stay off grid that little bit longer. The other thing I want to have a talk to you about today, and I'm going to go through and show you and how we monitor how much water we've got. I think you're going to be really interested in that. So once I've got up, we've had a little bit of breakfast and stuff like that, I'm going to put a bit more water into the caravan, and once that's been done, I'll show you what we do after that. So that's the panels cleaned up here on the top of the caravan. As I said before, it's a task that just needs to be done. The longer you stay off grid, particularly in dusty environments like this, the more dust builds up on there. I'll try and keep them as clean as possible just to maximise their performance. So here we are at the Gibb River campsite. We've been here a couple of days, haven't we? It's been great.
It has been wonderful.
I think I originally only planned maybe stay here 1 or 2 nights. I think this is night 4 and we're negotiating night 5 at the moment. We've got such a great spot up there just by the water's edge. It's great, isn't it?
We have, and we've had perfect weather, to be honest. You couldn't ask for a better time to be here.
Exactly, yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. We're going to go for a little bit of a walk further down the creek. We'll see if there's any more to see. The camp area goes on for quite a distance yet, doesn't it?
It does, yes. People have found their own little space in paradise, really, beside the Gibb River.
They certainly have. My only complaint about here is that you only have to walk 10 metres away from the campsites and you just find toilet paper everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, the boys have come back every day after a walk, and that's been their common statement, which is pretty sad to hear. Look, it's not the first time we've heard it, but it's just every camper says the same thing. Wish people wouldn't do it. Something
we've had here, which we haven't had in a lot of places in the last few weeks, is we're starting to get a few of the black flies back. And I'm thinking it's only because of all the sewage which is just left out in the open around here. It's not nice and it shouldn't be done. I mean, if you can't really afford a toilet, you really need to be going away. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let's get down the end of the creek and see what we see. So it's not too busy here today in the camp area, and we've walked down probably about 300 or 400 metres from when we camped, and there's plenty of spots down here. There is a guy a little bit further down, but here's a typical sort of site when you come and stay on the Gibb River. And as you can see, they're all pretty open. They're big enough to fit a couple of vans or campers if you're travelling in a group of people. The only thing you need to be a little bit careful of is in some of the areas, and they're pretty clear to see, there's some soft sand here you get bogged in, isn't there, Al?
Yes, definitely 4-wheel drive at times.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of people come in and spin their wheels, but everybody's been able to get out. We haven't had to help anyone dig out yet. No. But yeah, plenty of spaces along here. Just a nice place to come and camp. And it's also, and I think I said this before, it's also one of the only safe swimming holes. There's no crocodiles here. Well, there's no saltwater crocodiles here. So We haven't seen a freshie. Everyone we've spoken to hasn't seen freshies. But yeah, it's a great place to go and cool off of an afternoon, I can assure you of that. So that's about the extent of the campground. We probably walked about 500 metres from the Gibb River Road up along the river, and there's campsites all the way along it, and you see lots of fireplaces along the way. And for maybe the first time ever, it's one of the only campsites we've ever come to where people actually keep using the same fire ring instead of lighting a new one every metre apart from the old one, which has been great to see. But it's a beautiful spot, and there's no really dud spots along here. You're either going to get a lot of sun for your solar, you can get spots where you're getting shade in the afternoon and the early morning sun for your solar. You can get spots that are right on the river if you want them, and you can get spots that are away from the river. But everybody seems to find themselves a great spot. Everybody seems to be set up and comfortable. Great place to come and stay when you're doing the Gibb River Road. So here's our site here on the Gibb River, or at the Gibb River campground. Got the caravan set up. Graham and Donna have set up just down a little bit further. We've got some great afternoon shade here and plenty of solar in the morning. It's been a great place to come and camp. Good little fire ring down here and a great view of the Gibb River across the beach here. So just on the opposite side of the road from where we're camped, you've got the Gibb River Road, which you can see there in the middle, or the weir for it, going across the Gibb River itself. Just on the other side there is a great swimming hole. We've been over there a number of times. We're going to shoot back over there in a second. It's very, very warm here this afternoon, so it's been quite refreshing to jump in there of an afternoon. If you do have small kids, just be careful, because there are some very deep areas over there. A lot of people do elect to have their smaller kids on this side of the creek because they get the nice sandy beach. In fact, we've seen a couple of cars come down here and set up and get the awning out and chairs and spend a day here, and they're just people that are camped locally in the area we are. They just find it easier with their kids on the beach and a lot safer for them. But going back to where we're looking at over there, it's an area you can also camp, so you might be able to see a caravan in the background over there. Over the last couple of days, we've seen maybe 2 or 3 caravans, but I still reckon that we've got the primo spot here on this side of the road, because we get the view over the top of the weir, and we also get the view out over the top of the creek here and all the shade of the trees in the afternoon. You can see everyone sitting around and relaxing this afternoon. But rather than me try and describe the campground anymore, I'll throw the drone up and give you a look around.
Well, our original plan was only to stay here on the Gibb River for 2 or 3 nights, but that plan changed very quickly, and I think we're at about night 6 now, but we are leaving tomorrow. We're starting to run a little bit low on our water, so I think we're down to about 32 litres inside of our tanks, and I've just dropped in an extra 40 litres from the jerry cans that we carry on the front of the caravan. When Ali and I first bought the van, we immediately installed a Topology Bluetooth water tank gauge. I think we saw it on TV, we thought what a great thing to have inside your caravan, because it allows you to monitor every single litre of water that you use through the van through this clever flow meter that was so simple to install. I'm able to see how much water we have on hand all the time through the simple eFlow app. And the only thing I ever need to remember to do when I'm using our Topology Bluetooth water tank gauge is every time I put water in the van, I just need to add that amount of water onto the app, and that way we never run out. Check out the morning here at the Gibb River campsite. It is absolutely beautiful. It's been something to really get up for every morning. It's about 6 o'clock at the moment, so it's still not too early, but it is a beautiful place to come and stay. But as you can see, the river continuing down over the top of the weir there, and just through the trees you can see our car and caravan. What a beautiful place to come and stay. So our plan today is we're going to continue our way further to the north up the Gibb River Columbaroo Road. We're going to head to Drysdale Station, which is only about 60 k's up the road, so we'll get there a little bit later this morning. Get ourselves a spot. We're going to stay overnight, maybe check out their restaurant in their beer garden, go and have a couple of beers and something to eat, and then we'll get up the next day, quite early in fact. We're going to head up towards King Edward, where we're going to place the vans while we go and explore up around Columbaroo and Mitchell Falls. Rightio, so we've crossed the Gibb River now. We're heading up towards Drysdale Station. It's about a 60k drive. Google Maps tells us that's about almost a 2-hour drive.
I think so.
I think it just makes an accommodation for the Corrugations, but I've got to say, the roads so far on the Gibb have not been too bad, have they? There's, you know, obviously a few bumps, rocks and corrugations, but nothing overly spectacular at this point.
Yeah, I think for me, the first part of the journey from the Pentecost through to Ellenbrae was probably the worst.
Yeah, we did get told that this part of the road now going up towards Drysdale can be a bit how you're going from time to time. But the other thing we've been told in the last couple of days is a couple of graders up here working, so I think we might be in luck.
Hopefully it makes for a better journey than some of the stories we've heard.
Exactly. So we're going to get up to Drysdale. It's your last point to get some water before you go any further north. So we're going to top everything off while we're there. Maybe get a load of washing done if we can. Yes. Just all that normal admin stuff. We'll get the bladder filled, because once we get up past King Edward campground, then we're going to leave the caravans behind and go up and camp in and around Mitchell Falls and down to, up to Columbaroo, Honeymoon Bay, McGowan's, all of those places. We're really looking forward to it. So,
we are looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's get up to Drysdale. Okay, so we've just pulled into Drysdale Station, and Alison's getting ready for one of her favourite jobs. We just found a closed gate as we're coming in, so we'll go in, we'll get parked up, and we'll go for a bit of a look around. Good job, Alley Cat.
We'll close it.
So we've come out to the Drysdale River Station, like we said, a little bit early this morning. We're just spending an overnight here, so a little bit of admin really. We are going to shoot over the beer garden very soon, have a couple of beers and have a bit of dinner over there tonight. But if you do come and stay here, the unpowered section, that's where we are at the moment, that's going to cost you $20 per person per night. So for a couple, it's going to cost you $40, but there are family rates for kids. You can check that online if you are travelling as a family. You can also get a powered site here as well. There's no water at the site, you just need to fill up from a central location when you come in. You can also get fuel when you come here, diesel and unleaded. We filled up with diesel while we're here, $2.95 a litre, which is very, very expensive, but you've got to think about where you are and the opportunity to come to places like this. We're willing to pay that cost for fuel. It's the same price we get up to Columbaroo, but that's what you pay for coming out and adventuring in areas like this. But I'll give you a bit of a look around the campground, then I'll take you over to this afternoon. We'll show you the beer garden, the general store, and what we get for dinner. Okay, so here's the site that we picked. Now you come into a big paddock, and I'll just give you a pan around. You can see people just camped anywhere. Most people go for a bit of shade, but we wanted some sun on the panels earlier today, so they've all now been charged up and the shade's starting to move across. We just set up opposite Graham and Donna for tonight, but we like to do that because we can sit around and have a bit of a chat and get a bit of a campfire going. But as I said, they're pretty good spots. The powered section, you'll find the other side of the toilets over there, so you might be able to see some vans and things through the trees over the other side. In the centre, that's the powered section, and then over here in the centre you'll see a water tank. That's where the showers and stuff are, and they're great. Just went over and had one then. You get your own little ensuite with a shower and a toilet. Nothing fancy. Once again, you're probably one of the most northern campgrounds in Australia, so you just got to be prepared for that. But yeah, it was great. The other thing that you'll find here at Drysdale is the general store. Now there wasn't many supplies in there, but we were here at the end of the season. It's also the place you come to pay your fee and get your fuel. And of course there is their restaurant and bar, which had great food and excellent service. So that was our night here at the Drysdale River Station. It was a great night to come and stay. A little bit noisy at night if you're noise sensitive. There is a generator here on the station which runs all night, and I could definitely hear that. And we are situated maybe a good 400 or 500 metres away from it at the moment. But the meal was really good down at the beer garden, a couple of cold beers. There's a couple of tour groups in, but they don't really mingle in with the campers too much. And what I mean by that is they don't upset the meal flow, like you're not waiting for them to be served before you're done. That's all pre-done. So the service was really, really good. And as I said, the food was great. We're just going to top up with water now before we go. I think I might have mentioned this before, but if I haven't, I'll mention it again now. On Wikicamps it says there's no potable water north of us. This is our last chance to get it, so we're going to fill caravan up, make sure we're full, all our jerrys, we'll fill our bladder up so that we've got plenty of water when we head north for the next week or so. And then we're going to meet up with Graham and Donna somewhere on the track as we head up towards King Edward River today, and we're going to leave the vans there. But anyway, let's get underway. So we worked our way up from Drysdale Station. We come to our next camp on the Gibb River Road. We're actually on the Gibb River Columbaroo Road at the moment, and we've come up to the King Edward campground, and I'll cut in some pictures of the campground here. It's a national park stay. It's $17 per person per night. There's an envelope booth at the gates when you come in. There's also a camp manager. If you don't have cash, you can go and pay them because they have an FPOS facility, but it's a great camp and it's a great place to base yourself to go. So our plan while we're here at King Edward is to use it as our base to shoot out to the Mitchell Plateau. We're going to drive out there tomorrow morning. It's about 100 k's away. From what we understand, the road is really bad. I had a look on Google Maps. They're estimating it's about a 2.5 hour drive out here to do that 100 k's, and all the reports we got from other campers who've been out there tell us that it's rubbish, particularly the last 16 k's are where you do the turn off to go in. So yeah, not really looking forward to it, but at the same time we're really looking forward to getting out to Mitchell Falls. The other thing we're going to do while we're here is we're going to leave the vans here and we're going to travel up to Columbaroo and then head up towards Honeymoon Bay and McGowan's, and hopefully be able to get a spot up in one of those two campsites. But I'm really interested to go and check out Columbaroo. It's a very, very remote community. In fact, I think it's probably one of the remotest or the one furthest north here in Western Australia. It is not the best road to get up there from what we understand. We're going to find all that out in a couple of days' time. But what we're going to do this afternoon is going to go down. There's a swimming hole that's here at the King Edward River, which is one of the best ones that we've been in on the Gibb so far. Very, very popular. It even comes with a ladder, so we're going to head down there and go for a swim. So this is the pathway down to the swimming hole at King Edward Camp. You can either walk there from the campground or you can drive over. There is a day use area. I got so excited at the prospect of a swimming hole with a ladder to get in and out of, I forgot to film anything while we were down there. Lucky Ali took a lot of photos. That's it for this week's episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. Come and join us next Saturday for part 4 of our Gibb River Road adventure when we go out and we check out the amazing Mitchell Falls. It's something that I think every traveller needs to go and see. And then we come back, we get our camping gear packed up and we head up to Honeymoon Bay to probably one of the most northern campgrounds that you'll find anywhere inside of the country. If you like today's episode, make sure you give us a like. If you have any questions or comments, hit us up in the comment section. And of course, as usual, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so because it really allows our channel to grow. But until next Saturday at 7 o'clock, you guys have yourselves a great week. We can't wait to see you. We'll see you then.